This video brought to you in part by these fantastic sponsors.
What's going on, guys? As we get a new banner, I decided that I am going to just do some shop refreshes. So I'm gonna drop about 3,000 skystones, see how many bookmarks we get. I'm gonna keep track over here so that we can see just about how efficient-ish it is. Now, one thing of note that that really helped me out is if you are using Nox, I don't think you can see it on the screen. Yeah, you can't see it on the screen. But I actually set up a keyboard shortcut to for a refresh, so I can just hit R to refresh without having to drop down and come over and hit the refresh button manually. So we had 1,200. We're gonna take this down to 9,000. See how many bookmarks we get. How many good pieces of gear that we get in 3,000 1,000 refreshes.
Goods and of course information.
Now this is pretty boring, but this is the most efficient way to get bookmarks. Alright, so we got 5. That was actually really quick. The downside is it takes gold, like everything. Everything takes gold. You see I have, oh wow, that's another one real quick. Alright. Everything takes gold, man. Gold is like the real bottleneck of this game.
Hey, why don't you buy something?
And wyvern gear. Well, actually, like any gear that you actually want is the bottleneck, because desire sensor is super real in this game. Wow, okay. So this is the maxed out shop, and typically, like the theoretical is, if you can get, wow, we're just getting mad bookmarks, dude. If you can get, what is it? Wow, okay. If you can get, what, 50 bookmarks in under 1,000. If you can get this in, what, 100? 100 is like one spin. So if you can get that in under 100 skystones worth of refreshes, you're doing pretty good. Now, obviously, those first ones are not typical. Like, I'll usually get a bundle of bookmarks every, like, 50 to 70. Oh, almost. Wow, we're killing it. Killing it. That's six bundles of bookmarks already, and we're not even like 100 in. Now, typically, the other thing too that you want to do when you go into like refreshing, unless you're just looking for bookmarks, is you're gonna want to come with some gold, because you're gonna find a piece of gear. Because whenever you're rolling for bookmarks and you don't have much gold, you're always gonna find a piece of gear. Sorry, I got up like real early to do the patch notes, so I am beat today. But yeah, whenever you're just going for bookmarks, eventually you're gonna find like a piece of like level 85 purple or red gear that's just gonna be super boss, and you're just gonna be like, ah, oh, God, I wish I had the money for that. So as you can see, like, we got really lucky on those other ones, but it's been a hot minute since we got a bookmark. But realistically, as long as you get one in under 100 skystones worth of refreshes, you're ahead of the game. One of the reasons why I like this too is that well, obviously you get it for cheaper amounts of skystones, but man, one of these days I'll wake up here. You can use the skystones that you saved in order to do stamina refills. Or you could just get more bookmarks. I haven't done the math or really seen too much of the math on like
Come and take a look.
if you average out to like get an extra 30 sky stones or whatever, can you make back the money that you spent? Like if you like spent the gold on it. Obviously, the better you do. Like if we just stopped here, we would probably be way above the average. But we're doing 3,000. That was my plan.
And of course, information.
And people are gonna be watching this and they're gonna be like, wait, so I don't get it. Is this literally just a video of you just refreshing the shop 1,000 times and buying stuff? Yep, that was the literal title of this video. That's gonna be the title. Epic 7. This video is literally me refreshing the shop 1,000 times.
Goods, and of course, information.
The problem with like making the refresh thing faster is that sometimes I almost skip some bookmarks. So I'm doing this because Luluka is coming out later, and yeah, I definitely want her, and I really want that artifact. Probably gonna miss a bookmark somewhere, and like I'm not gonna notice.
Come take a look.
Like someone in the comment section is gonna be like, "Oh, you missed a bookmark like at this time," and I'd be like, "Oh, that sucks." I would do this on stream. Man, we are getting some like actual crazy bookmark luck. I'm hoping that my luck with these lucky bookmarks is really good for Luluka. Wow. So just want to say that this is definitely not typical for me anyways. Like we are getting just a metric pile
Or information for money.
of bookmarks like regularly. So we're already at 50 bookmarks, which I'd just like to point out that 50 bookmarks normally is 950. Yeah, you get some penguins, but yeah. And we're at, what, a little over 350 bookmarks in. So we saved
Well,
not 600 bookmarks doing it this way, but like I said, it's not typical. Usually I'll save about 300 or less,
or information for
which
money.
turns into refills for the most part. One of the reasons why I prefer doing it that way is like you can make your money back, obviously, but I like to. Some people are like, well, just buy the book and sell the penguins. Like the penguins don't. Like I do not sell anything other than like 3-star penguins, because like two ice
Take a look.
2-star penguins will instantly level up a blue dog. And I typically feed 1-star penguins to blue dogs as well. So a lot of times, like, I'll literally just use my penguins to mass level up dogs if I'm not out, like, walking them. Because I feel like for the amount of money that you get back from, like, 1-star penguins, like, just use the energy. Three-star penguins, on the other hand, do give you silver transmit stones, so that is, that's one of the reasons why I sell those. I will sell those even if I have characters that I need to level, because I'll just mass spam them 1- and 2-star penguins. And then I will I'll just sell the 3 stars, get my silver transmit stones, and yeah.
Everything comes and goes here.
Everything comes and goes here.
And of course, information.
Every time I see a red, I get really excited, and then I'm like, oh, it's level 41. Oh, it's level 55. Like, yikes. Yeah, as you can see, we've been on a little bit of a dry streak. So this is actually a little bit more typical. As with everything, this is there's a lot of RNG added into this. So
Hey, why don't you buy something?
it's not like, oh, refresh the shop 10 times, get some bookmarks. Oh, that would be kind of nice, but then they would have to make it so that it didn't interfere with like the regular bookmarks. But if you're feeling like using up all your luck before a banner, this is a good way to do it, that's for sure. People at this point in the video are like, man, is he really just gonna spend that many more sky stones? I mean, we've got what, 2400 refresh, or 2400 sky stones left to refresh.
Money for information, or information for money.
When I said that I was gonna do. Okay, so we're at 11 bookmarks for like a little over 650. 11 bookmark. Oh wow, right back to back. That's crazy good. Let's see which happens first. If I hit the 3,000 sky stones, or if I run out of gold. Man, like that would be first world problems right there. I'd actually have, I would have sky stones to just buy gold. From the sky stones that I saved. The other thing too is I don't suggest doing this with like unless you're coming to like really drop down like 1,000 stones, because the thing is like you can have like, if you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna do like 5 or 6 like refreshes, chances are you're not gonna find a bookmark. Like you gotta really come at it with like quite a bit to get the most out of it. So like 950 is a solid amount, because that's how much you would have spent for a book. Like in 950 refresh, like sky stones worth of refreshes, like you're gonna get those, like unless you just have really, really horrible luck. Now again, like the other downside to it is that it does cost you quite a bit in the way of gold. However, that's farmable. You're gonna get gold. And you should be okay-ish on gold, unless you're just literally dropping mad amounts of gold on like crafting or like gear upgrades, stuff like that. Yeah, and see, like you'll just get a streak. And you'll be crazy. We've gotten 17 bookmark bundles, 18 bookmark bundles, and we haven't even hit 1,000 yet. Oh, time for me to wake up. However, I should just set my alarm.
Everything comes here. Money, goods, and of course, information.
Should just set my alarm to for Wednesdays to wake up at 6 a.m. so that I can hit the patch notes.
Information for money, whichever you prefer.
I'm actually surprised I haven't seen any good 85 gear out of this. So we're up to almost 20 spins. So Luluka's artifact for those of you who are still, for some reason, watching this like crazy refresh fest, is gonna be super busted on auxiliary lots. When I was discussing it in the Discord, somebody brought up the fact that Oxlot's second skill is a 2-turn cooldown, which theoretically just makes it one, like if you max out the artifact, like you can literally do it every turn. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty busted on him, to be completely honest. Oh, I see the red. Now I see the level. Super disappointing. It's kind of like during crafting when you're like, oh yes, it's a red item, and then you're like, oh, flat main stab boots. Awesome. Awesome. Literally just what I wanted. I wish flat stats didn't exist on right side items, because that just literally ruins. All right, so we hit 20 and we're still not even. So we have doubled the amount of bookmarks that we would have gotten from a book of bookmarks. A book of bookmarks? Book of marks?
Information for money, whichever you prefer.
Money for information, or information for money. Whichever you prefer.
Everything comes and goes here. Money, goods,
Everything.
and of course, information.
But yeah, I was throwing around a theory crafted team of like Dizzy Oxlots, Ruzid, a bunch of speed characters that just CR push. I need to find like another character other than like maybe, well, Lidica could probably do okay. She would be more targeted pushback, but the dream is to literally just never let anyone take a turn. It'll work good in PvP until you get to like the levels where people are just mass running like effect resist. All right, 21.
Everything comes and goes here. Money, goods, and of course, information.
Now, again, the downside to this is the amount of gold that you're going to spend on this, because, I mean, we've spent, what, almost 4 million? Because they're 184 per, and we've gotten 21.
Money for information, or information
Attack,
for
crit,
money.
health. If that was like perfect 8s across the board, I probably would have picked that up, but it's not. Ooh, what are you? Defense. Ugh.
Hey, why don't you buy something?
On a crit D ring? No thanks. So the other thing too is that, like, if you're a new, like a fresh level 60 and you don't have any level 85 accessories, because accessories are a little bit harder to get than everything else, refreshing the shop's actually not a bad idea. Even if you're only getting like green accessories, it's still very beneficial just starting out, because just the percentage stats on level 85 gear is just way better than most things that you can put on.
Hey, why don't you buy something? Come and take a look.
Sometimes buying fodder out of here is not a bad idea if you're like in a rush for fodder and you have more gold than you know what to do with. But that builds up real quick. I've done refreshes in the past to just mass buy fodder, and
Everything
yeah.
comes and goes here. Money, goods, and of course, information.
Personally, one of my favorite places to get fodder is in labyrinths. Usually a much higher chance because you can farm a lot more enemies. Now, usually I try, like, I wish there were world level labyrinths that are just like harder. Because dropping down and doing like the normal ones kind of sucks, but you could do World 9 for like XP and difficulty, and as well as like drops and stuff like that. The big problem is that a lot of the ones that are like the easiest and have like the most things for you to clear are some of the lower level ones. So like you're not getting as much XP for the fodder that you're walking, but you get more fodder drops and it's just easier to clear. Not only that, but since you are killing more things, you typically get more catalysts as well. So we're up to 24 bookmark bundles. And we still have 1,800 to go. We're not even halfway there. Whoa! Living on a prayer. Ooh, what are you? Let's see. Effect resist, crit damage, crit chance, speed, effect resist. If this were defensive stats, I'd actually probably pick that up. But if I'm running effect resist, chances are that I'm not running that on somebody who needs attack stats. And the rolls are all pretty minimum on that, so I'm not going to spend 1.4 mil on that. Again, if those were like 6, 7, or 8s, I would consider it. But when you're dropping your hard-earned gold, it is better to be a little bit picky. I know that was like the first thing that we've seen in, 1,200 Skystones of refreshes, but don't get all willy-nilly buying stuff just because it's red. Now, if that were like, say, crit damage, destruction set, or even speed set would have been good. Would have potentially picked it up, but because it had speed and both crit, so that would have been solid. But that is another problem with gear, is like sometimes you'll just get a piece of gear that you're like, oh, that would be fantastic if this was a different set, but it's not. This guy would just get more money from me if he would just give me more bookmarks. Bro, aren't you trying to optimize your gold income? It would be crazy too if so I've never seen it and I don't think that it's possible, but if you could get like 2 bookmark bundles in the same refresh. I don't think it is. I think that the items are like specifically, like, you can't get two skulking Silvas.
Why don't you buy something?
Hey, why don't you sell me something? Hey, why don't you buy something? I don't know, man. Put some bookmarks in here, and then I will. Thank you. See? As soon as you put them in there, dude, I bought them. Hey, why don't you buy something? Money for information, or information for money? So this is a pretty long, tedious, boring process, but
Come and take a look.
literally to get more bookmarks and save gold, or well, not gold, but sky stones, is 100% worth
Hey, why don't you buy
the
something? Come take a
tedium.
look.
Alright, we're almost at 30. Which realistically, after we get 30 bookmarks, like everything else is just profit. Basically. Because at 30 bookmark bundles, that would have been 3,000 sky stones if we didn't buy them with the book.
Hey, why don't you buy something? Come and take a look.
This video is literally me refreshing the shop for a half hour. Thanks for watching me do this, by the way. I appreciate it. If you do like watching me do really boring stuff
Everything comes and goes here.
and yawn a lot,
Goods, and of course.
make sure you like, fave, and subscribe. Follow me on back to back. All right, so everything after this point is all profit. We've got 15 back to back to back. Damn, what are these? My moonlight rolls. We still got 1,500. Like, we've literally cut in half the amount of spend that we have done for bookmarks. We're at the halfway point, boys.
Everything comes and goes here. Money, goods, and of course, information. Hey, why don't you buy something?
Definitely wish there were a way, like, I wish that it like would just show everything on the screen. I don't know why you have to like scroll up and down. Just make it like a little bit smaller. That way I could go through this way faster. Because I hate having to scroll up so that I can see what's at the bottom.
Hey, why don't you buy something?
Like,
Take a look.
Smilegate, please. Just make it so everything fits on the screen.
Hey, why don't you buy something? Come and take a look.
Oh. Maybe I need to do something in the morning to, like, wake up. Like, go for a jog. Fight my dogs. You would think, oh, well, why don't you just drink some coffee? Don't really drink coffee. Well, what about tea? Caffeine tolerance. The amount of caffeine that I require in order to be a functional human being would kill lesser mortals. Some people are like, but you do 24-hour streams. How do you stay up for 24-hour streams? Well, that is just fueled by literal hate for myself. Mostly.
Money for information, or information for money, whichever you prefer.
When are we getting this dude as a character? Ooh. Everything has a price. I'd roll for this dude. I would want him to be some sort of like gambler thief though.
Hey, why don't you buy something?
Like super RNG, or like some sort of like, I would want him to have like some sort of like merchant skill. I've always been a big fan of like thief style merchant characters in games, like just the badass merchant that's like, oh, for a price I'll break this dude's kneecaps. Because, I mean, I would feel like if you were in some sort of, like, fantasy setting, if you were actually a merchant, you'd probably have to be, like, super badass. Because otherwise, you just get robbed all the time. You know, some little adventurer, like, comes in's like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna put a bucket over your head and steal all your stuff. And he's like, yeah, no. That's not a thing that's going to happen. And then you're like, oh. Okay. That was a Morrowind Skyrim joke. I hope somebody got that. I hope that somebody chuckled. They're like, huh, yeah, just put a bucket over their head and steal all their stuff. Easy clap. But then you'll just take an arrow to the knee.
Money for information, or information for money, whichever you prefer.
Whichever you prefer. Ooh. Again, I would buy this if it was defensive, but
everything comes and goes here. Money, goods, and of course,
need some HP's gears for my Dark Corvus. The Eraser.
Everything comes and goes here. Money, goods, and of course, information.
If someone sees like an HP neck, just tell me I missed it in the chat, because then I'll feel bad.
Hey, why don't you buy something? Come and take a look.
Hey dude, it's been alright. There we go. See, just complain about bookmarks and he puts them in the next refresh. There you go. That's how to do it, boys. The secret technique. You can't complain about it too much. Gotta like legitimately be like, dude, come on, really? Like,
Whichever you prefer.
I've done like 500 stones worth of refreshes, man. Come on. You know, we're 50 refreshes in. Where's my bookmarks, boy?
Information.
And then he'll be like, oh shoot, I forgot to put those out. Here you go.
Everything comes and goes here. Money, goods, and of course, information.
And of course, information. Like, I wish I could actually buy information, like where to find more Molagoras. Is this character good?
Hey,
All
why don't you
right.
buy something?
We are not even 2,000 in, and we are doing pretty A-okay. Although our gold's not doing too good. We're down about 7 million. I think I had around 9 mil. Maybe less. I should have kept track of what I started with.
And of course, information.
Also, before you ask, how do I have so much gold? Lots and lots of farming. Not only that, but like a lot of times, typically I'll sell all of the blue gear that I get from hunts, which really helps out.
Everything comes and goes here.
Instead of just feeding it to
information.
instead of feeding it to other gear, I just sell it. Realistically, when I have something that I am going to level up, I'll probably use the charms from the PvP shop, or then I'll start dumping gear into it. But right now I don't have too much that I need to like super level up. I've got a bunch of mediocre gear that I get to like plus 12 and then just kind of let it chill. Unless it's like perfect or near perfect, I try, or I need the main stat like real bad. I typically tend to just take it to 12 and not to 15. Well, anymore anyways. I was taking things to plus 15 for a while, and then I was like, oh wow, oof, that's a lot of waste right there.
For information or information for money. Whichever.
It'd be nice if you could get like the vast majority of XP that you put into a piece of gear back. So like if it's like to like, you could literally just feed that gear to another piece of gear and be at almost the same level, even if there was like a little bit of a drop off. But like if you were like, oh, I'm gonna put this plus 15 purple gear into this other purple gear, maybe get to like 13 or 14, like that wouldn't be bad, because at least then it doesn't feel like such a waste.
Or information for money, whichever you prefer.
All right, we're in the home stretch. Only one red 85 item.
Goods, and of course, information.
Feels bad, man. Feels like I haven't gotten bookmarks in a hot minute, man.
Money for information, or information for money, whichever you prefer.
All right, so we're at 38. $39. I wonder how far we're gonna get. I wonder if we'll get 50 rolls worth out of 3,000 sky stones. That would be pretty nice.
Everything comes and goes here. Money, goods, and of course, information.
I could, I wonder if I should go back and like edit this video and just like have a running timer at the top. That actually would have been pretty good idea, like if I would have just had that on the screen. Or, yeah. Just like keep track of like the timestamp. All right, so we're at 40 packs or 40 rolls. Like I feel like we can get to 50.
Money for information, or information for money, whichever you prefer.
I feel like it's not an unrealistic goal. Especially if we get like some good luck, just like back to back
Everything comes and goes.
bookmarks.
Money, goods, and And of course,
But I'll tell you what, like I said, if you're using an emulator at all, setting this up is fantastic. Apparently, so the dogs are super upset at something. They're upset that I'm getting such crazy deals. No, they don't care. The downside of dogs interrupting video are all erased by all of the upsides of dogs,
buy something. Come and take a look.
which is literally everything. I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but like, thanks for sticking around and actually clicking on this guy refreshes 1,000 times. What did we get?
Hey, why don't you buy something?
I'd like some more gear, man. But then again, like, that's random. That's super random too. If that other one was a percentage, I probably nah, because like counterattack sets, I want to be defensive as well. Like, the higher you get into PvP, the more defensive your team needs to be, and like just going like full on glass cannon cleave doesn't really work out too well. Like, once you get higher up, it's all about the, like, effect resist, bruiser, heavy defensive meta, outlast, wars of attrition, which is also works really well in Guild Wars, because when you only have 3 characters, a lot harder to just blow people up.
Why don't you buy something?
Hey, why don't you put some bookmarks in here? Yeah, maybe we won't get to 50. We'll end it by him just literally going, oh hey, should have stopped when you were ahead, man.
Money, goods,
Should have stopped when you were ahead.
information.
We'll see. Again, that's also one of the reasons why, like I said earlier, like, if you come into this, you better have some stones and some gold, because like a lot of times you'll just get a dry spell for a while. Alright, 42.
Everything comes and goes here. Money, goods, and of course, information.
Flat. Hold on, was that 4 speed? This would have been so good if it wasn't for that flat main stat.
Hey, why don't you
Literally, Smilegate, take flat main stats off of right side equipment. Take flat stats off right side equipment. It literally makes a piece of gear unusable. The only stat is speed. The only stat that you want is like speed on boots. Everything else, like, no flat stat is worth it. Like, I will never use a ring that's like, oh, here's just flat health. Nope.
Why don't you buy something? Come and take a look.
Now, if flat health worked where it was on your base and then all the percentage would go into that, like that would stack with any percentage pieces, fantastic. But it doesn't. So, yeah, pass. Because if it worked with flat health, like if flat health was just applied to the base, you would see people like hardcore theory crafting, mathing, like,
Come take a look.
oh, once you get this percentage of plus percent health, like after that, then if you add this much flat health, it'll actually be more than if you added more flat or percent health and all of that stuff. So you'd have to do like a balancing act of like what of that you would use, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way. It's just tacked on at the end.
Everything comes and goes here.
Alright, we got 464
Information.
sky stones to get another 6 bookmark bundles. Can we do it?
Hey, why don't you buy something? Come and take a look.
Maybe we'll get another red item.
Money for information, or information for money, whichever you prefer.
Lots and lots of fodder, man.
Everything comes and goes here. Money, goods, and
I need to upset fodder guy so that he just doesn't like continue to put fodder in here. Like, give me some bookmarks, dude. Give me some gear. Give me some red gear. But yeah, no, once you get this to max level and you max out your secret shop, this is one of the best ways to get bookmarks if you got the time and the money.
Money for information, or
Information
for
money.
whichever you prefer.
Whichever you prefer. Information for money. I'll give you all kinds of information for money.
Money, goods, and of course, information.
This guy's all about information, man. Let me see what that is. Flat health. Ugh. Gross. A lot of times I will look at like blue level 85 necks and rings because while I'm not a big fan of like blue items, just because, well, you waste some level ups into the other stats that you just don't know what they are.
Everything comes and goes here. Money.
Your substats overall are just not as good because you waste those extra rate ups. I've been criticized in the past for not caring about like blue boots or like helms and stuff like that in favor of like red ones or purple and red. Effect resist. I need health set HP. Because, oh, well, you know, it could roll the speed or something like that, and like I get that, but as a person who wants to optimize their gear, like chances are I've probably already got like a piece of gear on whatever character that's all right, not like amazing, but I'm not gonna sit there and, you know, try to like fish out like, oh, this blue piece, let me get it up to 12 so that I can see if it's gonna be even worth my time. Again, like if you could just go, oh, you're plus 12, I'll feed you to something else, use that money, and then yeah, but you can't. You like, I think a plus 12 would net you like maybe plus 9, plus 8 if you fed it to something of like the similar level.
Come take a look.
I don't know how much XP you lose in translation, but it's not 1-to-1, that's for sure. I mean, if that were the case, I mean, I would just pay the gold to just move it from item to item to item to item to see, like, what the stats are. And then just be like, oh, okay, that's cool. Oh, that's bad. Oh, man, I kind of want... Well, I don't know who I would run with this on with defense, but, like... Oh, and that crit chance is super low. Bah. Hopefully my yawning doesn't make you sleepy as well. Or maybe if it does, like, you can use this as, like, something that you watch before you go to sleep, and you're like, oh man, this is so boring, this is putting me to sleep. Like, Andy yawned, now I'm yawning. We're all super sleepy.
Everything comes and goes here. Money, goods, and of course, information.
I don't think we're gonna hit 50. We got 143 left. This last little bit has been a little dry.
Goods, and of course,
He's probably having a hard time finding any more bookmarks. He's just like, homie, you done bought them all. Nope, there we go. Give me 4 more, dude. 4 more and 116 Sky Stones worth of refreshes.
everything comes and goes here. Money, goods, and of course, information.
Be nice too if you could like sort this.
Hey, why don't you buy something? Come and take a look.
Like, oh, I always want bookmarks to show up at the top. Fodder down at the bottom.
Hey, why don't you buy something? Come and take a look.
I don't know, man. Unless we get some back-to-back-to-backs, I think we're gonna be stuck at like 46 or 47.
Everything comes and goes here. Money, goods, and of course, information.
Oop. All right, 47. We get the back-to-backs. Where you attack, flat. Coming down to the wire, man. Now, normally I would just go until I hit the next bookmark, but
Hey, why don't you buy
I
something?
just wanted to do 3,000. We can still get it. We got 2 more. Oh, there we go.
Money for information.
All right. So we got 48. Let's see. I'll do 1 more refresh and see if we get that back-to-back luck. Nope, we didn't. So we got 48 bookmarks. So that's 4,800 Sky Stones theoretically. Obviously, you would knock off 150 if you were buying them from the book. We spent probably, well, hold on. Let me do some quick maths
Hey, why don't
here.
you buy something?
Clear. So 48 times 184,000. So we spent about 8.8 million gold on this. But at the same time, we also saved 1,800 Sky Stones, which would, in theory, turn into
Money,
almost another
information.
100 bookmarks if we just went and bought books now. Or 1,800. We had 1,800 more Sky Stones that we could just toss in, because I mean, if you think about it, like 48, so you'd get about another 24, 26 rolls out of it.
Take a look.
And yeah, yep. So For the most part, not too terrible. Yeah, thanks for watching that. What do we have ready for? So we got 328 bookmarks, and I still have 9,000 sky stones just waiting for Lulika to drop. So there you have it, boys. I will be putting that, I'll be doing that video as soon as she comes around. So if you're at 60, this is a very viable method to get yourself some sky stones. So thanks for hanging out and watching. If you did like watching me just refresh this 1,000 times, hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification, drop me a like and a comment, and I will catch you later. Peace.